Hi everyone. Today I will be talking about the three most influential rock and roll artists in America. For those who didn't know about these three most influential rock and roll artists in America, Rolling Stone magazine said on March 2020, Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, and the Beatles were some of the best artists in America. Before we get into the information of these artists, I would like to discuss about rock and roll as a music genre. Rock and roll is a popular music that originated and evolved in the United States around the 1940s to 1950s, from musical styles such as gospel, jump blues, jazz, boogie-woogie, rhythm and blues, and country music. First, I will tell you about Elvis Presley and how he became famous and influenced America with rock and roll music. Elvis Presley stated, according to the website The Conversation in August 2017, said, in the summer of 1954, Elvis recorded a version of old blues number, That's All Right Mama, in downtown Memphis. The recording was a sensation and really started off his career. And actually, this picture is from one of his very first recording sessions at that studio. One of Elvis's major breakthroughs with music was his first RCA single, Heartbreak Hotel, which was released in 1956 and topped the music charts in the US. His on-screen performance, consisting of overstated gyrations and other body movements stressing the beat, thrilled his teenage audience, and they all seen something different in him, so they really liked him. Second, I will be talking about the Beatles and how they influenced American rock and roll music. Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison were all part of the Beatles from the beginning. CNBC said on October 2019, the Beatles first came to America on a solo trip to Illinois in September 1963. Shortly after that, they went on this trip with a tour in the US in 1965. And they went around from California all the way to around Maine and New York and stuff like that. Another source in The Guardian reported that on June 2019, the Beatles then influenced the British invasion, which in meaning a lot of British artists from the UK came to the United States because they seen how well and successful the Beatles were doing. The Beatles influenced Americans for dancing to recorded music instead of live music. In turn, this showed people that it's okay to dance to kinds of music like that and go all crazy. Finally, I will tell you about Chuck Berry, one of the best rock and roll guitar players of all time. The website The Biography in March 2020 stated Chuck Berry was born in St. Louis on October 18, 1926. Charles Edward Anderson Berry learned to play the blues guitar as a teenager and first performed in his high school talent show. In Chuck Berry's late 20s, before his first major hit, Berry crafted lyrics that spoke to young people and showed them it's okay to talk about problems and stuff like that. Starting with his first hit in 1955, Maybelline, Berry penned a collection of songs that in both groove, teen life mindset became essential parts of rock and roll. So the lyrics were more out there than most artists. By the end of the 1950s, he had logged 7 more top 40 hits. His lyrics, largely about sex, cars, trouble, induced an entirely new vocabulary popular music in the 50s. A lot of people hadn't seen this kind of vocabulary before, so it was very new to a lot of people. In conclusion, Elvis Presley is still known today as he was then. One of the most celebrated and influential pop musicians of all time, his gift and talent, flaws and failings are as enchanting now as they were when he first swayed his hips. Up until the Beatles, there's no rock band that isn't making dance music. That simply was rock and roll music was. The shift had implications in both racial and gender attitudes towards rock and roll music. Chuck Berry's influence, whose rocking songs, springing guitar riffs, and onstage duck walk that everyone knows and loves. Rock and roll during the early years had changed for the better, and decades to come. In the end, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and Chuck Berry are some of the most influential rock and roll artists of all time. Thank you.